Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I want to show you how to wire up a AP1 S2000 cluster in a EG hatch or a EG coupe. There are a few things that you need for that. You're gonna need, of course, the AP1 cluster. I bought mine from a page of Facebook. It has a few little scratches there, but yeah, I'm gonna try to polish them out. If you buy one, try to get one with the pigtails, because the pigtails are very hard to find. Mine came with the pigtails and about 10 centimeters of wire, so I was happy about that. But if you don't have wires, I will post a link down in the description where you can buy the pigtails. The only downside of that is that all the wires from the pigtails that the guy creates, it's CJ's wiring, and all the wires are the same color, so they're all white. But that doesn't matter, because you can go on the pin numbers and it should all work. So another thing you need is a Speedo Healer, and it's this little device. You need the universal one. It comes with a black cable like this, and at the end there's 4 wires that you need to attach to the S2000 pigtails, and one goes to the dash harness from the EG. And you also need a Modify EC2 for the AP1 or the AP2 if you're doing the AP2, but this one is about the AP1, so I got that one to fix the temp gauge. Speedo Healer is of course for the speedometer. What I did, I went to the junkyard and got myself a second dash loom. You can take it out of the car in like 10 minutes, so I thought that was easier. I tested everything first, so I depinned the wires from the original plugs. They look like this. This is the small plug, and the bigger plug, plug B, and the small one is plug A. I depinned them one by one, wrapped the wires from the S2000 cluster around them, put a little tape on them, and tested it in the car first. And when everything worked, I soldered everything up, as you can see. There are a lot of wires you're not going to use. I created a list on the computer with every pin out that you need for this. So I have it on my phone here. I will post that also in the description, so you can just copy that and print it out or something if you're going to do this inside your car. But as you can see, I have the EG plugs, the 10 pin one, so that's the smaller one. It goes from left to right, pin 1 until pin 10. And then you have the bigger one, plug B, and the strange thing is it goes from right to left. So here is 1 and 12 is on the other side. But you can go on the wiring colors or the pin numbers, it doesn't matter. I did most of it on the wiring colors because they all matched. But in some countries the dash loom from the EG has different colors than my schematic, so it can be that you have a different color on a pin, but the function on every pin is the same, so that doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go one by one very quickly. The left side is the S2000 side and the right side is the EG side. So if you look at A1, that's a blue-red wire coming from the A plug from the S2000. The A plug is the green plug, and you read the wires if you keep it like this, so the way you plug it in the back of the cluster. The top lines of the wires is pin 1 through 6, so A1, A2, A3, and the bottom part is A7 through A14, and that goes for every plug. So plug B, top part is B1 until B5 and so on. Yeah, so when you look at this, A1 is a blue-red wire. If you check that out on here, A1 should be blue-red, as you can see. It's blue-red. It goes to A1 on the EG plug, so if you keep that like this, the way you plug it in the back of the cluster, it's the most left wire, and it should be a blue-white wire. That's for the seatbelt light. Yeah, I marked a little X with it, and if you look up here, an X, it's not used in my EG, so I don't have any seatbelt wiring, so no light for me. The wire is there, so if you want you can wire it up, but then you have to put in seats with seatbelt warning switches or something like that. I don't know how that works, so I just left the wire out. Yeah, so everything is in this list. It's all pretty straightforward. I'm not going into detail on that because you can find this complete list in the description below. You have 4 connectors on the back of the S2K cluster. Yeah, plug A is green, plug B is a gray one, so those are not too hard, and then plug C and plug D are both black. The bigger one, so the bigger plug is the C one, and the smaller one is the D one. So you can wire everything that's in this list up straight away. The only thing that you maybe need to know to depin the wires from the EG plug, you have to slide this little white piece up. Let me see if I can get it down again. Yeah, like that. You can just do it with your fingernail or with a screwdriver, but you have to slide it up so the pins are not locked in place anymore. And then you have to press a small little tab with a needle or a prying tool. You press that up and pull on the wire, and the wire should come out. It's pretty easy. Same goes for the B plug. It works the same. Slide the white thing up, deep in the wire, and then test it. For the Speedo Healer, if you bought the universal one, it comes with 2 wires. So the black wire I have over there, and a wire that connects to the TSM port. I'm not using that because it's a little button you can press, and then it saves the top speed in the Speedo Healer, and I'm not using it, so I left it out. But yeah, the Speedo Healer has 4 wires. A red wire, that's a power wire. I added that to the black yellow power wire on the EG harness, that's B10. It has a black wire, it's ground. I added that on the EG harness A5, the black wire for ground. And then you have 2 other wires, a green wire and a white wire. The green wire goes into the S2000 on a blue-white wire, and that's connector C3. It goes to the white-blue wire, and that's for the speed gauge. Yeah, the other thing you need, I already told that, but it's the modify. You have to wire that up to the engine coolant temperature sensor, or the TW sensor, I think it's called mostly. The ground and the plus 12 volts wire up to the sensor, and then one wire goes from the gauge into the S2000 plug, and one wire, the sensor wire, goes into the EG harness, so pretty much like you wire up the Speedo Healer, and that's about it. I'm gonna do this one later, the modify, because I'm not too worried with my simple D15B2 about the engine temperature. Never had the car overheat or something like that, so yeah, I'm gonna do that later. For the Speedo Healer, to set it correct, you can do the following thing. I downloaded a GPS speedometer, took the car for a drive with the S2000 cluster wired in, and then I checked my speed on the GPS, and when I was going around 75 kilometers an hour, or precisely 75 kilometers per hour, and the AP1 cluster showed me 2 kilometers per hour, and that's the values you need to know. As soon as I'm going 74, the cluster showed me 0, so I knew 75 was the switching point. But if you know those two values, you can download the Speedo Healer app from the App Store or the Play Store, and you choose the precise option, and it asks you for the indicated value on your meter. So that's the value the AP1 cluster gave you, so we're gonna add 2 in that, and then reference the actual value. So I was going 75 kilometers an hour, put that in, so 2 and 75, and then it already shows you the calibration, so it's plus 3650.0. But if you press the generate button, it tells you exactly which buttons you need to press on the Speedo Healer, because you have 2 buttons here, the 2 red ones, a sell button and a set button, and the app tells you exactly which button you need to press when and how many times to put the value in. Yeah, the 3650.0 is spot on for me. I took the car for a drive after that, and with the GPS on, I went 75 on the GPS, and the cluster also showed me 75, so that's spot on. So when you have that done, there are 2 other things you need. You need some brackets to hold the cluster into the car. I made my own from an old license plate, bent that up, test fitted it in the car so I knew where everything needed to go, drilled out the holes, and yeah, I did the other one, test fitted it again, and it all fits perfectly. I created those brackets with this little drawing I made. I found this on Google. The guy made some brackets from acrylic, but the thing I wanted was the measurements. So these 2 holes here, this one and this one, these are the original EG cluster holes, so you know these 2 are 5 centimeters apart from each other, and you have to make the bracket like 1.2 centimeters thick, and that goes for this part. So this is the only part that needs to be thicker, because the cluster is further towards you. But on 3.7 centimeters to the side, you have to go 0.3 centimeters up. So the difference between this hole and this hole is 3.7 to the side and 0.3 centimeters up. That's the first hole. And the second hole is 1.3 centimeters up and 0.25 centimeters to the side. So you get this idea. These 2 holes are not straight above each other, but one is a little bit off. And that's the side that's going on the S2000 cluster. And you can test fit Yeah, you have to figure that out by yourself. You can buy the brackets. A better job than I did. This works, so I'm happy with it. But if you buy the brackets, they're like $50, so I wanted to save that and made them myself. And the other thing you need, the last thing you need, is a bezel, because the AP1 cluster is smaller than the EG cluster. You need a bezel to fill the holes that the cluster leaves. You can also buy that, but I think it starts at $60, and if you want a carbon one or carbon look, it's wrapped in carbon vinyl, it costs like $90, so yeah, I wanted to save that money too. So I bought some acrylic for €5, that's like $7 or something, and I made my own, painted it black, test fitted it on there, test fitted it in the car, and it works perfectly. So yeah, that's it about the wires. One other thing I did, I bought a variable resistor. I think the short name for them are potentiometers or pots. That's a resistor with a little screw in it, and this one is a 50 ohm one, and you can turn the little screw yeah, to adjust the resistance in the wire, so more or less ohms. You need that to get a proper reading on the fuel gauge, because when I put it in my car without the resistor, my tank was half full, but the cluster showed me 2 stripes above that, and I don't want to run my tank empty and still think there's fuel in it, because the cluster is showing me that there's fuel. So that's why you add the resistor. Yeah, I just wired it up and then turned the screw, and when the cluster showed me my tank was half full, I knew I was spot on. I'm gonna test it again when my tank is almost empty, to see if it shows me almost empty and the fuel light goes on. But yeah, if you're not too worried about that, you don't need the resistor, but I don't want to run my tank empty because I use the car daily, so I added the resistor. I think it was like €2 or something, so that's like $3. It's not a cost, and you just wire it in the fuel gauge wire from the EG harness, and yeah, that's about it. So I just hooked the cluster up quickly, not on the original location, but yeah, just plug the wire in the fuse box, and then I can test it. Here is the hazard switch. If I press that, you can see that works. I'm gonna put this light off and then turn the car on, so you can also see every function. If the camera wants to focus. Yeah. As you can see, the fuel gauge is pretty accurate. The fuel light is on because my tank is almost empty. I have it set to kilometers per hour now. My cluster has 112,000 kilometers an hour. And if I press this button here, then it switches to miles per hour, so that works. And the dimming button, it also works. Let me see if I can show that. If I press the minus, you can see the cluster go brighter when I press the plus, and when I press the minus, the cluster dims. The ABS light is off, the SRS light is off, it's all in the wiring diagram. Now you need to wire it up to turn those lights off. Alternator light is on. oil pressure light is on, cell light turned on when I put the car on. So the RPMs also work. The only thing not working is the temp gauge, because I didn't wire the modifier up. Handbrake light works. When I open the boot, the light goes on, so everything you need works. So yeah, that's how you wire up the AP1 cluster in AEG. I couldn't test the speedometer because I can't drive the car with the cluster on the floor. But take it from me, if you adjust the Speedo Healer the correct way, then it should work. If you have any questions about the cluster swap wiring or stuff you need, I will post as much stuff in the description below. But if you still have questions, yeah, put them in the comments. If you follow me on Instagram, send me a DM there. Everything you need to know, I think I can help. So I hope this was a bit useful to everybody. Yeah, and that's about it. So yeah, I think I will see you in the next one. Bye.